Hey good people, this is Angel May here, and I'm here to talk about hard things that we don't normally talk about. Let me introduce myself a little bit. So my name's Angel, and I've been a hairstylist for 32 years. 5 years ago, I made a decision to get my degree in positive psychology. You know, most of you get your hair done, I think, and know that your hairstylist kind of is a pseudo-therapist anyway, so I had already been in the field for 28, 29 years and figured, hey, let's just make it official. So I got my degree, a Positive Psychology Practitioner, and at the end of getting my degree, I decided I was going to do one more course. So I went to Florida and I went through the Essentials program of regenerating images in memory, and I knew the first day that I was all in when it came to RIM. That RIM, that's the acronym for Regenerating Images in Memory, has the ability to heal old wounds, traumas, abuse, and it can be used for so much more than just that. But for me in particular, I have a history of a lot of childhood trauma and abuse. And it started pretty much when I was an infant and continued on as a young child. And then when I was 11 years old, I was molested by my uncle. I fled the house afterwards and I ran to strangers and I called my mother, and I was deeply ashamed and humiliated. And as a child, I was terrified and embarrassed that my father would find out about what happened to me. So I hysterically begged my mother not to call the police, and she obliged, and we didn't. And then I found out several years later that this same uncle that my aunt did stay with, we'll circle back to that in a minute, that the same uncle had been molesting his daughter, my cousin. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one to unpack, especially as an adult. I held a lot of guilt and shame and regret that if I would have went to the police, it wouldn't have happened to her, but I didn't because I was a child. So a lot of you are thinking that's pretty horrible. The second part of that story is after I was molested by my uncle at 11 years old, which he had also had me smoke marijuana the first time ever. I didn't even know really what marijuana was. He said it would relax me. After that happened, and I was home that afternoon, my aunt called me and she asked me if I had told my mother, if my mother knew that I had been smoking marijuana, and that if I called the police, she was going to tell my mother and the police and I would go to jail. All of those years, I carried that. And I was really abusive to myself because of it. I abused drugs, I abused alcohol, I abused my body. When I got my degree, the healing had begun. When I found RIM, the healing was completed. Through the power of regenerating images in memory, I have healed that wound, that trauma that caused me so much pain all those years. I can honestly say that I am super happy and I love the person that I am today. And I am the woman that other women and girls will come to for help and support. That's a tall order. That's a tall order, to be there and hold space for other people and help them heal. But I know it's my calling and it's my purpose now. Just like being a hairstylist, I absolutely love it. I love making people feel good about themselves. And that's just as important, because when we feel good about how we look, it changes everything. It's not just about how we look, but it's about how we feel about how we look. Everyone has a choice to do whatever works for them. Color your hair, don't color your hair, wear makeup, cut it short, wear it long, shave it off, as long as you feel good about it. And for about 32 years, because I'm still a hairstylist and I still love it, I'll never give it up. But I want to help people heal on a much, much deeper level. So here I am, bearing my soul. Today, I took another step towards healing. I know it's time. The time has come. I know my purpose is to help women who have been marginalized, abused, left behind, made to feel like there's something wrong then, less than, wondering, what's wrong with her? How about asking what happened to her? What happened to her? So today, I decided enough was enough. If I'm gonna really do this journey, I am gonna have to walk the talk. I can't just talk the talk. I need to walk it. Because if I'm not willing to stand up for myself, how in the hell can I expect anybody to think I would be willing to stand up for them? You gotta love yourself first. So today, with the help of a dear friend, when I was talking about this situation that had been activated and my aunt is expected to be at my house for Thanksgiving, I invited her. I don't know if it was in an effort to prove how spiritual I am, how forgiving I am. And I am all of those things. I am deeply spiritual. I am deeply forgiving. I am deeply loving. And I know 40 years has passed, and my aunt's not the person that she was 40 years ago. But today when I called her and talked to her, she showed me that she is still that same person. She's more worried about herself than she is about me. The conversation went a little bit like this. Hey, Aunt, I just needed to talk to you. First, are you in a private place where you're alone, where we can talk privately? Do you have a couple minutes? Is that okay? Or we can, let me know a time that would be good. We could talk. I just wanted to talk to you before Thanksgiving. She agreed. No, okay. Well, I was going to go to bed, but I can still talk now. Okay. You by yourself? I just want this conversation to be private between us. Yeah, she was. So here I am, the victim, still looking out for her. And the question I posed to her was, before Thanksgiving, I just need to talk to you about and ask you why, when your husband molested me, you called me that afternoon and threatened to send me to jail if I told anyone because I had smoked marijuana. And her response was, I don't really remember that. I mean, I remember there was something about the drugs and the weed, but I don't, yeah. Well, that's smelly bullshit. That doesn't, I don't believe that. You know the truth when you hear it, and that did not ring true. Well, let me refresh your memory. This is what you said. You called me that afternoon while I was recovering from being molested, and you asked me if I had told my mother that I had been smoking marijuana, and that if I called the police, that you would tell them, and I would go to jail. I would go to jail, 11 years old. So the rest of the conversation tonight went a little bit like this. She said she was sorry. She said she was sorry for what she did, that she didn't remember a lot of things that happened back then. She said, I thought we were past all this. That was so long ago. We've all moved on by now. I said, no, you've moved on. I have carried this every day. It derailed my life. You've moved on. I haven't moved on. And again, my aunt said she was sorry. I'm sorry. But when Pop molested me, see, this isn't about you. This is about what you did to me. And all I wanted was some accountability. I'm so sorry, Angel. That was terrible of me to do. I'm sorry that I hurt you that way. I'm sorry that you've carried this all these years. I'm sorry that my actions affected you in such a negative way. I would never, ever do that again. I love you more than anything. Would you please forgive me? But I didn't get that tonight. What I got was truth. And the truth is, I'm sure she is sorry, but she's more worried about herself than she is about me still. Because she followed up with, my husband doesn't know anything about this, her new husband, and I don't want him to. And that's when I made the decision. I'm going to ask you not to come to Thanksgiving, and I don't want you to be a part of my life anymore, ever again, because you are still more worried about yourself than you are about me. Than you are about the 11-year-old girl that you threatened after she'd been violated, because you violated me again. And I'm not going to be violated anymore. So here I am, and my message is to every woman, every girl, every child, every aunt, every sister, every mother, every daughter, every wife, every girlfriend. Stop the silence. Don't carry other people's shame. It is not yours to carry. It is theirs to carry. It's taken me 40 years to get to this space, and it was scary. It was really, really scary to speak up for myself. I really turned back into that 11-year-old girl, terrified, but I'm not anymore. I am the woman that girls come to for help, and I will be here, a safe space. I will advocate for you as much as I advocate for myself, and that feels really good to say. And moving forward, I won't keep her company anymore because I choose not to be around people who hurt me anymore. I've stopped the cycle of abuse for all the generations to come, for all the women who couldn't defend themselves, for all the girls that were silenced. I'm here for you. I am here for you. I will always be a safe space. So that's my introduction. Moving forward, I want you to know this is going to be a place where we're going to talk about hard things, really hard things. Abuse, trauma, betrayals, loss, soul-crushing loss, addiction, cutting, drinking, drugs, smoking, sex addiction, porn addiction, abusive, intrusive thoughts that are addicting, people pleasing. Nothing will be off limits here. This will always be a safe space where you can talk to me. And anyone who finds this page who is not a safe space will immediately be removed from it. Perpetrating hurt and abuse will not be tolerated here. So be mindful of your comments. This will always be a safe, non-judgmental, loving, open place for all. I look forward to our conversations because we're going to talk about some hard stuff. So once again, my name is Angel May. I am the owner of Sun and Moon Life Wellness. Also, Sun and Moon Hair Studio. Beauty from the inside out, healing from the inside out. And that's what I stand for. Thank you for taking the time to listen. See you soon.